How about those Miami Heat? Can you believe it? Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. It is Saturday evening, the 20th of May. Want to spend a few moments here, talk and discuss with you about Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals, which was a 111-105 Miami Heat victory to take a commanding 2-0 lead. Who would have thought that in the Eastern Conference Finals? Before I get started, you do like the content, this particular video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe as well. I've also been completing short videos as well throughout the week, so feel free to go to my page there, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan on YouTube, and click on that Shorts tab, and you will see those extra videos as well. So, if you were to think of all the different scenarios that could have happened in the last few days, on the two games that were played in Boston, you could not think of a better scenario or setup or situation for the Miami Heat, who are now up 2-0 in a best-of-7 series, and now go home for the next Game 3, Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, in Miami. So, if there's anything maybe the Heat want to guard against, it's getting a little too comfortable, although I don't see this team doing that. As you certainly don't want to let the Celtics back in the series, which could happen with a Boston Celtic victory in Game 3. But hey, we don't want to even think of that, right? I tell you, it was really four guys that stood out to me on Friday night in Game 2. And it was a close game throughout, of course. He'd pull away late in this game. Of course, Jimmy Butler is one of those four with another 27-point night, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, and of course, getting a little extra motivated there with some friendly competition that we all saw being thrown his way by the Boston Celtics. And then it was Bam, who was tremendous, who was only an assist away from a triple-double. He goes for 22, 17 rebounds, 9 assists. Unbelievable. And then you had Caleb Martin, 25 points off the bench, 4 rebounds, a steal, and a block. We all know that Caleb Martin has it in him, and he's performed well, particularly the last part of the regular season and throughout the playoffs. He's a big lift off the bench for the Miami Heat, big spark. And then there was Duncan Robinson with 15 points off the bench and a steal. And his three-point shooting, his long-distance shooting, it's so important for the Heat. I mean, as with any shooting specialist, a three-point shooting specialist, his shot will not always be there every single game, but when he's clicking, that makes the Heat even more difficult to beat. Now, I will say this. If there's one thing I didn't see coming that really favors the Miami Heat or really speaks highly of their performance in the postseason, it's their ability to simply match baskets with the best teams in the NBA. They can flat out outscore teams. There's really no other way to put it. They've been proving that time and time again, that they can win games offensively in the playoffs. And the amazing thing about that is that one of their top scorers or players that would probably increase their chances of doing that, Tyler Hero, has been out pretty much since the beginning of the playoffs. He got hurt right at the beginning of the postseason. And who would have thought that if they lost Tyler Hero, they'd still be scoring. Lose Tyler Hero, you're still scoring 110, 120 points a game. They put up another 111 on Friday night. And you're without Victor Oladipo, who's a key player off the bench for the Miami Heat, a key guard with plenty of experience, proven player coming off the bench. So to even think of that is almost incomprehensible that the Heat they're not at full strength. They're actually a banged up team in a sense. You're missing 2 key players. There was other contributions, but really it was the big four that I had mentioned. Butler and Bam, Caleb Martin and Duncan Robinson. You had Cody Zeller off the bench with 6 rebounds, 2 points, a block. Kyle Lowry was a little bit more quiet than usual. He didn't score. He had 5 assists, a steal, and he had another block. The guy blocked shots at an amazing rate for someone his height or his size, right? And Gabe Vincent, now, of course, he had the foul on the Tatum 3 late in the game, and that was not a good defensive play, as we all know. But then he comes back offensively with a big shot, hits a couple of big free throws. Gabe Vincent, and then he winds up being one of the clutch players down the stretch. It turns out 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals for him. Max Strus, 11 points. I mean, he's just been consistently helping the team. You have Kevin Love, who really, in some of these games, does not really... He'll maybe take a couple of shots, but he hasn't really been featured much on the offensive side of the ball. He had 5 rebounds, didn't score, 2 assists and a steal. So, whatever it takes, this Miami Heat team will follow up and follow through and get the job done. Jayson Tatum, from a statistical standpoint, was phenomenal, although his only offense really in the fourth quarter, again, was from the free throw line. He's not doing much from the field in the fourth quarter so far in the Eastern Conference Finals for whatever reason. But nonetheless, he would score a game high, 34 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. He almost had a triple-double. What amazes me is the defensive job that the Heat have done on Jaylen Brown, especially in Game 2. Jaylen Brown, a very accomplished scorer, only finishes with 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. The Heat defense in Game 2 is a little bit better. You know, some of these games, they seem to step it up more defensively. They did step it up down the stretch defensively. I will say this, though, that the Celtics, both games so far, Eastern Conference Finals, do have proven to somewhat self-destruct. I mean, it's a combination of the Heat grit and determination, and the Celtics just kind of not getting the job done at all, and there's like unforced turnovers and kicking the ball around and missed free throws and bad passes, and they just have not done a good job down the stretch. Al Horford I really like him as a player, but not one of his better games. 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 assists. That's it. Robert Williams had 13, a steal and 2 blocks. Marcus Smart was quiet, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Derek White, he's a good player for the Celtics off the bench. He finished with 11, 2 blocks for him. A lot of block shots in Game 2. You notice that? Then there was Grant Williams, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. And Malcolm Brogdon, who is a good player for the Celtics off the bench. 13, 4, and 2. And then Brogdon adds a steal and 2 blocks. So plenty of blocks. I mean, the Heat had 3 blocks just from their bench. The Celtics had 5 just from their bench. The Heat would go with the same 9-man rotation they've been going with these last handful of playoff games. The Celtics only went with an 8-man rotation. Game 3 should, of course, be interesting. I tell you. But so far, the Heat are the superb team that stands out when it comes to executing down the stretch. They just find a way to get it done. They make big plays. They'll follow up maybe a not-so-smart play with an outstanding clutch play. So they just keep staying the course. And Coach Spoelstra gets a ton of credit. This might be his finest moment, even when we include the championships that were won. And he might, who knows, he could win another one this year. You don't know. I mean, 2 more wins, the Heat are in the finals against, of course, either the Lakers or Denver Nuggets. So it's 2-0. Miami Heat, best of 7 series. Part of it, I will say, I mean, is that the Celtics have not really played as good as they have played throughout the course of the season. But a lot of it is due to the Heat and the way that they're playing very aggressively, just hustling 100% of the time. They're leading in like the loose balls hustle categories, getting loose balls like that, or 50-50 balls they call them. So let's see what happens Sunday night. Again, that's 8:30 Eastern, Game 3. I will catch up with you guys in a few days. Don't forget to check out those short videos on my page, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan on YouTube. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.